No one can rival your worth. Darkness fall. Do, 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 do. Hi, guys. Put your name in the chat. Put your name in the chat. Hallelujah. Yes, God. Put your name. Where do you want to put your name in the chat? In the chat, in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Put your name in the chat. Put your name in the chat. What is up, guys? What is popping? What is up, guys? We will rise. We will get started shortly. I'm just gonna wait for a couple more minutes, okay? But introduce yourself, put your name in the chat. Darkness falls to the Okay, guys. So hi, Betty. Hi, Fabi. How are you? Betty, why you acting like we're not on the phone all the time and you have not been seeing my hair? But thank you. I really appreciate you and love you so much. Hi, Fabi. I love you too. I love you. I love your babies. I love your family. It's just a wonderful, wonderful situation. But I said in band that I was going to have a special guest, and I do have a special guest. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man of God, and I am so excited to have this conversation with him. Okay. So introducing Jonathan Lacombe. Woo!
The
Yeah,
one and only.
the one and only. Hi,
Can you
Jonathan.
guys hear me? How's it going? How are
Yes,
you?
we can hear you. We can
Everybody
hear
hear me?
you. You sound good. You sound good. Hello, Ashley. How are you? I have not seen
She's
you in
back.
too long. That is crazy. Um, Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Long
good.
time no see.
Long time no see. I mean, I feel like you are definitely one of the people that I just don't interact with a lot, you know?
I
And
feel that too.
you know what I mean? And it's like, we need to do better. But regardless, what time is it? 6:05. I guess we can get started.
Let's do it.
Guys, let's do it. So today, Jonathan and I wanted to talk to you guys about discipline. Um, Jonathan, what's discipline?
Let's see. Like my definition.
Yeah, like what's your definition of discipline? Okay, that's cool.
Um, I would
Like,
say
when you think of discipline, what comes to mind?
order,
Order.
order.
Mhm.
Um, Makes me wonder what is the Google definition for discipline, I would
I
say.
think for me, when I think of discipline, one of the first things that comes to my mind is it's one of the ways that we as human beings can function on a level that Jesus functioned on and God functions on um all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jesus, I was Jonathan, we were both actually reading something the other day for about discipline, and one of the things that it was a story, and it was when Jesus was with his disciples and with people who were like around. They were just interested in getting healed and stuff, and they were Jesus was healing and doing miracles very, very late all day and all of that. And then because of his discipline, Jesus was up early in the morning communing with his father. Like, discipline,
Yeah,
discipline. And it was a story that I never even like realized was about discipline, but it was. Like,
yeah,
I feel like we all do this thing where like if I was doing something late at night, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not going the next day. Don't ask me. I'm not I will not. I will not. If I went to sleep, for an example, for whatever reason at 5 o'clock in the morning and I had an 8 a.m. shift, I would be calling in sick the next day.
yeah. I think
Like,
I think well, I think when it comes to discipline, also in the Christian aspect, it's also obedience. I think it's like obedience too is just being in proper in proper line with following the rules. I think as Christians, we live a disciplined life because we are obedient to the rules and the guidelines and the guidance that God has set before us. And the aspect of even us being Christ-like, us being trying to be imitators of Jesus and stuff. It's
right.
like, okay, Jesus did that. Like even through after all that he was able to do, he still got up and went on to do the task that God has put in him for him to do.
Right. And that's so dope. That's so cool. And I think I know for me, one thing that I'm very like I think, okay, it's 2022, it's the new year, it's January. I know I made a goals list. Like, I think that's what people do every single year. Jonathan,
Hmm.
what are some goals, and it could be from any of the past years, but like that you've made in the past year, if you don't mind sharing?
Sure.
Do you have any, like, what are some goals that you've made in the past year
That I've succeeded at, or
that you have not succeeded at?
I would say I had a goal one time to save $10,000 in a year. When it came to December 25th, probably had like $20 in that goal list. It was crazy because I remember I actually forgot that I had made that goal, but my old bank account system had it set up in a way where it was like it reminded you. So like when December it was like December 28th or whatever, I get a notification and then it says you're it was like you're something $1,000 away from a goal. So for me in my head, I've never seen this notification. So I'm thinking that like, yo, I just got robbed $10,000 or something. I was just
That
like,
you
great. I was like, where did you find that money? Cause and why did I not know that I had it in my account? But then
right.
two is just realizing like, dang. And then it hit me as like once I opened it up, I realized, yo, actually I never went through it. I never went through with the goal. And it actually, yeah, it was a sad day for me, I could tell you that.
Yeah. And imagine you had $10,000. That would be a beautiful thing. Like,
Game
it's
changer.
like I know in the past I've made goals where I'm like, okay, so this year I'm going to learn to speak. Like, for me, it's Spanish because I grew up like going to school and like speaking Spanish. So like I know how to speak Spanish, but I want to be like like so fluent, like so
What is
fluent.
that?
It's I wanna be fluent, okay? I'm trying to show you
Oh,
I'm trying to be fluent, like, I want to know how to speak Spanish so that, like, when I'm in front of people who speak Spanish, I can surprise them, like, I can be like, "Oh, yes, like, whoa, like, I wanna do that, but here I am, like, "Te amo, Kathy or Tillian," like, I I was not disciplined. I'm looking in the chat and Betty said, I saw this meme that was like, I'm tired of disappointing myself. My only goal for 2022 is to buy a new hat. LOL. But
you
can I
gotta
tell
start out
you
small
something?
though.
You do. It's not a bad thing to start off small. I don't think so. But I think at the same time, we have been doing it wrong collectively as a society. Like we have not done what we were supposed to do and now we're tired of disappointing ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We think we're liars. We're like if I
Mhm.
say I'm going to do something, no I'm not. Like, basically, we don't have the character necessary to make our dreams come true. That is a hard pill to swallow, but I think it's important um to like be honest with yourself. Okay, also Betty said the definition from the Cambridge Dictionary is training for discipline, is training that makes people more willing to obey and more able to control themselves. You see that
Yeah,
word control. I feel like if you do not have discipline, there's a million and one things that you do daily that you're not supposed to do. Period.
that's true.
Because God is a God of order. So
That's what people don't realize.
God is going to tell us straight up like listen, I'm not trying to make your life horrible. I'm not trying to make your life miserable. Now memta at the same time you need to like I can't talk the way I used to talk. I can't act the way that I used to act. I can't there's so many things that I can't do and if I don't have discipline, I cannot do what God is asking me to do. I think that's so important.
Can I say one
Don't
thing?
discourage ourselves. Yeah.
I think the thing that also makes people fall behind is the like in the definition it says um to willing to obey or more able to control themselves. I think a lot of times when the end of the year comes, we're like excited about our goals. Like we want to accomplish so many things, but that then don't realize that it takes work to go into it. Like in everything we do in life, like nothing's really ever given to us. Like something had to happen for it to happen. And I think for
Yeah.
us, we don't like what our body does this thing where it's like like one of the goals that I didn't get to accomplish was I remember I wanted to create like a strict diet, to maintain my weight and control myself. But then when you see all the pleasures, it's like we're Haitian. Haitian
Right.
food is amazing. It's top one. And then you're
Mhm.
gonna tell me that I can't eat rice every day. For me, I'm
Yeah.
not even a rice person, but then it's just funny that even like when it comes to fasting or so, having that discipline not to eat, it's like for me, I'm not really a sweets person. Like when I want something, I want it. But then it's like the moment I'm fasting, I want ice cream every day. What is that? Like what is going on? Like why is it that the moment I start fasting, I want ice cream, but after that, any other day, it's like a regular. And I feel like our body does and it's all a mental game. And I think from a spiritual aspect, it's the devil because it he wants you to fall. Like he wants you not to accomplish these goals. And
Yeah.
because of that, he's like, okay, so all these things that you did not want, that you may not have wanted before, like it's like I remember one time I did the Daniel no, I actually accomplished it. I did a Daniel fast. And then for me, I'm thinking like I could stick like if anyone knows me, like I live on boiled potatoes, boil some plantains and then like
Heard you.
give me some gravy sauce on that. Like it's
Yeah.
not bird food. You
Uh,
sound like a hater, but by all
No.
means though. Um and I could live off that fine. But the moment I would start doing the Daniel fast, I'm craving all types of meat. It's like since when was I given steak? Like my parents didn't weren't making me steak faithfully. All of a sudden I want my steak medium well, I want it right on the grill too. Like, I'm like, "Why am I getting when
But
did my brain start to
I
get
think
all
the
this?"
what you said the devil is working, guys. Straight up. Like, he sees the things that you wanna do. You wanna shed some pounds, you wanna lose some weight. The devil sees that. And I'm not going to blame everything on him. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is on us. Like, we do need to be more disciplined, but at the same time, yeah, like, no wonder when you start trying to do something, it's like I can't get it done. It's like, "Oh my gosh, now
Yep,
I want food that I've never wanted in my entire life." But I think discipline is really the key. I think we have to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And so, Betty, no, we do not respect ourselves. That's why we're like, why do I even do this every year? But the reason why you do it every year is because, like, for an example, Jonathan, you have school loans. Like, you have bills, you have things that you need to pay for. That $10,000 would have been a help to you.
for sure.
And that's why you made the goal. And whatever happened, happened to make it so that you could not reach your goal. But now look at you without $10,000 and the money that you like would have used to help the things that whatever it is, like, now you lost out on it. And not only that, like, so many people losing weight, so many people want to do that. For me personally, I always want to gain weight every year. That's one thing that I always want to do. And it's not easy for me to gain weight. It's something I don't know. Like, it's not easy for me to gain weight, but I know that there are diets and things that I can take part in so that I can gain weight. Guess who's don't be gaining weight? This girl. I don't gain weight because I don't do it. And it's not that I'm eating healthy. No, I eat whatever I want to eat. I just don't eat consistently the things that I'm supposed to eat in order to do that. But the thing is that we truly would be happier, like, if we did the thing that we were supposed to do. Like, we have those goals.
I think one thing with that though is, before I move on, is I think in society and life, we just want reality is like if everything could be given to us, we'd want it, We'd take it. Like if someone could say, "Here, Jonathan, hand me a check, $10,000." Sure, I'd be like, "Sure, here's my hand." Like, and I think that's the thing about discipline is a lot of these goals and a lot of these things that we go through is we become impatient and then we're like we don't stick it through. Like, like we got to see it through. So like, but we ain't part of that. Like we ain't got that movement to really see something through and really want to be a part of it. So it causes us to fall, and then we just look at our self pleasure. But then at the end of the day, we're beating ourselves up because like when the end of the year comes and we're like, dang, we didn't even hit the goal that we wanted to, and it's like we had control of that, but
Yeah,
it was on ourselves.
but we don't respect ourselves. Okay, real quick. Ashley said, I think discipline is connected to vision. Yup. We pick up other people's visions and wonder why we fail. But if our goals are rooted in something deep, important to us, then it feels less like a burden. Yeah, I
Sure,
agree with
that's
you.
good.
I agree with you. Yeah. I think well, actually, I think what you said was really powerful, and I want to tie that into what we're going to be speaking about. But Jonathan, before we continue, what are some goals that you want to accomplish this year that have to be accomplished? Like, no ifs, ands, or buts.
I think one goal for myself this year is being a better musician. I think for me, I realized that for me, as you all know, as a music director for Menorah, like a lot of things in my life have tied to music, like a lot of my accomplishments, a lot of God's opening, sorry, a lot of doors being open for me have been tied to my consistency. And that even goes with practicing. I remember last year, especially during the pandemic, I was fasting, like, and then I was like, yo, I'll just I just wanted a closer relationship with God, and then I realized one of the things He wanted me to do is like seek Him and seek Him spiritually, but also in my music, seek Him, making sure that making sure that I'm putting Him as the foundation. And it could be just the simplest things as praying before I start practicing, like
Mm,
doing simple things like that, like how it elevated me higher. And then also as I was building my relationship with Him on a spiritual level, reading my Bible, I was also finding new doors that were opening for me spiritually in my music. So I think for me that is being a better musician, being consistent with that.
yeah, I think that's a wonderful goal, and I honestly, you've been saying that for a long time. I'm not about to come for you, but I do have a question.
Yeah.
What's the difference this year between every other year you've said that?
I think with any of my goals this year, I think this year I was intentional about getting a calendar and making a
Mm,
schedule, making an actual schedule on my practice time. I think for me, it was kind of within 7 days a week. I used to just be like, okay, I'll get it done, very find the time. But I think for me, actually putting like the same way every Sunday, we know that Sunday services at 10 is like having a certain day specifically for this is when I'm gonna practice and I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna just drop everything else I'm doing and commit to this.
yeah, I think that's really good. I think that goes back to what Ashley just said about something deep and important to us. Like, you know what I mean? This is something that you have been saying for a long time. You've been saying, I want to be a better musician. Okay, well, here's how I'm going to do it because it's important to you. And then, two, like to add practical things on it, like, yo, like I need to make a schedule straight up. Like, I cannot do this by myself. I will forget to do it by myself. I think for me, one of the goals that I have this year is honestly to save a ton of money. Okay. I'm not about to tell you guys how much money I'm trying to save. I'm trying to save a lot. Okay.
Be a
Um,
billionaire.
I'm tr- I'm trying to save mad money. Okay. Seriously. And I think for me, it does tie into what Ashley said again, deep and important to me, because there are things that I need to pay for. There are things that I need to pay for. There are things that I want to do next year and in the year coming that or the year after that that require more than $2 in your bank account. And so I am committed to saving the money necessary. And I think too, kind of like going off of what Jonathan just said, um, in terms of like his schedule, there are things like in your bank account where you can do automatic payments that um they take money out of your account every
You
like however whatever every month, every week, or whatever you want to do to make sure that like okay, I every week I commit this amount of money to my bank account because I know that if I do this every week for a year, this is how much I'll have at the end of the year. And then like having a disciplined mindset, like, okay, I want to save money. I need to know how much money I make, like after tax. Okay. I'm talking about every dollar that goes to me. Okay. Like having a budget and literally like having a real conversation where you put everything out there and make sure that, you know, you are prepared to do what you're willing to do or like what you're wanting to do. Um,
One thing I was gonna say, I think for me with discipline, like one of the ways tactics, I try to find ways to punish myself if I don't accomplish these things. And it may sound harsh, but I think that's one of the ways to I think people who lack getting their vision done is like sometimes I've even like I remember one time with my brothers, we were like, okay, if you don't accomplish this at the end of the year, you owe $100. And it may not seem it's like $100, but when you're a kid and you don't work or anything, $100 to get $100 may take me the whole year. So if it's gonna take, so for me, doing stuff like that to kind of like sort of punish myself, not really punish. It may feel like punishment, but it's to motivate me to make sure, like, yo, Jonathan, I don't want to pay that $100. So like, yo, let me get on top of this. Let me actually start saving money. Let me actually make a plan, or let me start dieting correctly, et cetera, or and practicing. Yeah,
I think that is it's not a bad idea at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like when
yeah,
you know that like you have either a risk or a consequence at the end of whatever you do, then you know. That's why again, what I don't know, I keep going back to it, but genuinely like what Ashley said, making sure that whatever it is that you're not saying, "Oh, my goal is to I don't know, like something random that has no connection to you as a person. Like
mhm,
that doesn't make any sense because what's going to incentivize you to do it? But like if you know that saving money means that your loans will be paid off and then you can buy a house more easily in a couple of years, like that's incentive. Like you know what
yep,
I mean? Like when you know that like if I do this, this is what I'll get and I want this thing. Like
mhm,
I want it so bad. Like it's incentive. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think though, before a schedule, before all of the things that we can do practically to help us, we need Jesus. Okay.
amen, hallelujah.
No, but I think what I mean when I say that is, um, and I don't know, Ashley, it's like you were in my brain, but like God gives us vision. You know what I mean? Like God will say to us, or He'll impress something on our hearts where it's like, like this is what I think that I'm supposed to be doing right now. You need vision. And I think it's a difference than like God can convict you to do something and He can give you a vision to do something. But like for an example, I'm not gonna randomly be like, this year I'm going to um I'm going to buy 3 BMWs because that's what I want. Like that's not happening. No. Like where is that vision derived from? Like why do I think that's going to happen? All of that. Like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah,
random thing. It's a random thing that I'm saying that I want to do. And
and
I think
even when you, oh, sorry.
well, go ahead. Go ahead.
And even like when he, I think also in during that time before you can move on is really having that conversation with God and being practical with yourself. I think a lot of times too is you gotta make practical goals for yourself, especially, and you also gotta know yourself. Like I feel like a lot of times it's like you can't ask for something like I can't be 5'5", a really short person, and then in a sense, and then and then say like at least for me, if I was 5'5" and be like, God, I want to be in the NBA in a year, knowing well that I have to. There's certain steps to get to the NBA. Like let's be realistic on your goals and also be realistic with yourself. Are you in a place where you could be in the NBA? And I think a lot of times too is we should have crazy faith also, but God's a God of wisdom too. But I feel like if you know yourself, if you know that to go in the NBA, you have to work out and you know you hate working out. Why before asking to go in the NBA, why don't you ask God, help me build a routine to work out? And then simple things like that that will get you in place for you to get to reach the highest goal that you want. And I feel like things like that will help set you up for success then because anytime you don't really reach your goals, it's a form of disappointment. No one likes to disappoint themselves.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. You're making me think of a verse, and I'm gonna read it to y'all real quick. And it is from First Corinthians 9, verse 24 through 29, I believe. And it says, do you not know, this is the amplified version, but do you not know that in a race all the runners run their very best to win, but only one receives the prize? Run your race in such a way that you may seize the prize and make it yours. Now, every athlete who goes into training and competes in the games is disciplined and exercises self control in all things. They do it to win a crown that withers, but we do it to receive an imperishable crown that cannot wither. Therefore, I do not run without a definite goal. I do not flail around like one beating the air like like just like shadow boxing. But like a boxer, I strictly discipline my body and make it my slave so that after I have preached the gospel to others, I myself will not somehow be disqualified as unfit for service. So it makes me think, Jonathan, about what you just said. Like,
Mhm.
to not just have a goal that doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even $100,000 heir. Okay. I don't even have $100,000. Okay. And so how can I say to myself, so this year I'm gonna buy 3 BMWs? God didn't tell me to buy no 3 BMWs. No, he did not. And
That's
so it
right.
doesn't make any sense. But to have a goal, so I'm not flailing around trying to do something that just doesn't make any sense to do. Like, right? Like, I'm saying instead, okay, how about this? I'm going to make a budget. And using my budget, I'm going to figure out how much money I can save. After all
Mhm.
my bills, after all the things that I need to pay for myself personally, how much money do I have that I can commit to my savings? And how can I get there? How can I make it so
Mhm.
that every month or every week or every 2 weeks, a certain amount of money comes out of my account and goes into my savings account? How can I do that? Like, I don't only have a goal, but I have a plan on how to get to that goal, right?
And
Um,
even in your
yeah,
goals is inviting God into that, like making sure God is the center of that. Like it says in Matthew, like, and people don't understand it. It's a simple verse, but like, and it was but in everything you do, if you put God first, like He will make, and everything will come to you. And I think that's what people don't understand. And it could be like the little things. Even with the little things, is like I'm about to run to the store. Like you may think it's like a little errand, nothing, but like God protect me as I'm going to the store. Boom. Like, and there's so much that making sure that God is the center of every little decision you're making that could open, like, and also protect so many doors and open doors that that could create a success to you reaching these um goals of that you have that you want to accomplish.
I think that's good. I don't know, as you were speaking, what came to my mind was like you said, God. Like God is the key. Like I think before discipline, so guys, uh, discipline is the major key. That is the key to doing
These are
all
key
the
words.
things that you want to do. It's the key to reaching your goals and seeing your dreams come true. It's discipline. But before discipline is God. Like
The,
exactly what Jonathan just said. Like making sure that, guys, we as Christians really need to get to a place where God is in everything. Like everything. I know for myself, I was praying about something recently, or like I was thinking about something, and I was like thinking so much about it, and I was writing down notes and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is what I really want to do. And then, guys, I went to pray, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna keep that thing to the side, and I'm gonna focus on like ministry and like work and like a bunch of other things. And I felt so convicted as I'm praying, guys, that God was saying to me, "Yeah, but how about that other thing that you were just writing notes about? You like you want to do that, right? Like why are you not talking to me about it? Like what's up?" And I was like, "Oh, snap. Like I know God, but like I just didn't think it was important right now." It's important to God. It really, really is. If it's on your mind, if you are thinking about it on any level, like it is important to God. God cares. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's important. You know what I mean? Like making sure that you are you are inviting God in everything that you're experiencing, you know?
I, to add on to that, I think people don't understand is like God knows everything we go through before we even go through it. But I think what He wants from us is to yearn for Him, to want Him, and by us asking for His help, like God could give us anything we want if He really wanted to. but it's us asking for him shows our walk with him. It shows the relationship we had. It's like a parent is like in a parent is there to be a provider for us, and they want and by us saying like, "Hey, dad, can you help me with this?" It could be the littlest thing, but a lot of parents find that like, "Hey, they find that um they find joy in that in coming to them for help. Like we could like especially as we get older and older and we start to do things for ourselves, there's certain things that I know like for me that my father just would love to just be like, oh, you're coming to me to ask for help. Like I could have went to anyone, but just me asking him for help in that sense shows like, and sometimes I even do things like I really don't need his help, but I know that it'll just that little pleasure will make him happy, make him feel like he's a part of my life just by me going to him with it. And I think us that's the same relationship we need to have with God and understand that like God wants us to ask him for things like by making sure that we are including him something, he wants to feel included and stuff. And then like when you hear the saying like God's a jealous God, not the same it's in scripture, like he gets jealous, like he doesn't want us relying on others, like relying other on theories, myths, or et cetera, et cetera. He wants us to put our trust in him and let him be that provider. So by us making him the center, we are also like God is the center and the beginning of discipline, but also our faith and our relationship with him is growing stronger and stronger because we're showing him that hey, we need you, God. Like I need you. Like I ain't nothing on this earth without you. So by me coming to you with help is me showing up.
I think too, I don't know, as you were speaking, I was like, there's so many things like you said, like inviting God into the situation with us, like making sure that God is with us, right? There are so many things that we can do out of our own power. Example, I wake up in the morning and I'm gonna go to work. I do that every day, every single day. And so, do I really need to be like God, like get me to work and help me to do this job that I know how to do? Like, do I need to do that? I think just to answer my own question, yes, you do. Yes, you do need to do that. And the reason why is because when you can invite God into a situation, what you invite really is a blessing. What you
So
invite really is favor. What you invite really is not just, oh, like because you were pressed. No, God is about to bless the whole situation. Like God might be like, you might be like, God, I'm trying to get to work. Please go with me, go before me. And you find that you are on the highway and there's so much traffic, and you're like, oh my gosh, like today is not the day. I have to get to work early. You drive a little bit further up and you see that there was a car accident. If I had been just a little bit earlier, or if I had gone a different route, like, you know what I mean? And God, there's favor attached to do this with me. Because if I do it by myself, then I don't know, you know?
and speaking on what you just said, I think too, if we look at it from so we live in a world we there's people like we live in the world, but we are not of the world. So there
Mhm.
are people who are not Christians for sure, who don't believe in God, that wake up and go to work every day. But it's that favor, that difference where by you putting God first and you being a Christian, God could guide you to take the right road to get you to work on time. But for those, so like there's so many things, yeah, for sure. Technically, you could wake up and not do that. Like, but it's the difference. You putting Him first when you wake up protects you from thousands of things, and that's the favor of God over you, and that's the difference. Because for sure, like a lot of times, it's like, well, I'm just waking up. Like everyone around us wakes up and they seem fine, but they may seem fine, but by you waking up and praying and saying, "Thank you, God, for waking me up. Thank you for giving me another day." You don't know so many attacks that you could have been through or could have
Right.
went that
Yeah.
God has protected you because the favor is over you versus someone else.
Yeah. I don't know. God, like, we gotta pull a Moses. Like, I can't do this without you. I'm not going if you don't come with me. You know what I mean? So I think definitely making sure that within your goals, you are making sure that God is at the helm. He is the front. Like, you're not just doing this by yourself out of thin air. And then, two, I think that will ensure that the discipline is there on a whole nother level. Like, when it's you and God doing something, it's like, I can't really. I can't really fumble the ball. Like,
Exactly.
God is with me. Like, you know what I mean? And then two, God, I say that I be like, my joke is that God's convictions are like an elephant on my chest. Like, I'll feel my chest. Like, I'm just like, oh no, I can't breathe right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God will convict you. God will say, like, listen, sweetie, that's not that's not what we said we were gonna do. Remember? And you can't move until you like that elephant stays on your chest until you rectify your actions in your situation. Jonathan, do you have any takeaways from this conversation? Anything that you're like, yo, guys, like you need to take with you.
I would say, um, I would say one thing I got from this is it was funny because I listened to a sermon today and they were singing the song "Wait on the Lord" or whatever, and then the pastor goes, "Delay is not denial." Um, and the reason why that hit me, I was like, "Oh shoot," is because the reason why we lack discipline is because it's that waiting period. And being disciplined, I think if you go back to the definition, I think Betty said it, is that second half. See if I can find it, is being more to obey or control yourselves. And during those times when you're disciplined, you need to have self-control. And being if your end goal is a year, you have 365 days. When you fall down, when you feel like giving up on your 100th day, is to get up and know that delay is not denial. Like God is still on your side, and like understanding that if you make him your center, um, that's that's the key to discipline. And I think that's for me is like make put God first, discipline, and also be practical with your um with anything you're disciplining yourself in, especially when it comes to like we were big on talking about goals, especially going into 2022, and the importance of being practical and setting certain things to you. Create check-ins. I think that's a big key as if you have a time period to get something done, creating certain points and check-ins so you can reach that goal, or you could be disciplined because that is a form of discipline. By creating check-in, you're checking yourself. You're like, okay, I know by if I have my goal starts in January, I know by March I need to be X, Y, and Z. And then breaking it down into parts, I think it helps to look at something that's a big picture and makes it look smaller so you could be able to consume and take it in and be able to attack the goals with 100% so you don't feel I feel like a lot of times you get drained out with their goals or being disciplined in whatever. Even as a Christian being disciplined, we see so many great things around, well, not great, but so many activities that we could partake in that are self pleasures that may be good now, but in the long term it's not benefiting us. And I think that's the importance of being disciplined, is understanding that the long term goal, what is your goal? And at the end you want to be able to reach it. So by falling short now, it's great. I get the self pleasure now, but then my end goal, will I be able to reach it? Probably not. Most likely not. How about you?
I think for me, my biggest takeaway, honestly, we didn't touch too much on this, but like I was watching a sermon actually from a pastor, and he was like, in making your goals this year, um write the vision down, write the conviction, the thing that God said to you, in pen, and then write the plan for the vision in pencil, because
Mm,
what we need to do as Christians is be flexible. Um, Sometimes we're like, and I think there's wisdom in being a planner. There's wisdom in writing down, how do I plan on getting to the goal. But God is God. And so he's going to do things the way that he wants to do things. And a lot of times he does things in a way that we never thought, conceptualized in our own minds. So being willing to divert, be flexible, and being agile, making sure that okay, God, that's what we're doing. Okay, cool, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and doing the thing, despite diversion from the plan, right? Um,
Agreed.
I think that's important. I think too, if God is not in it, I'm so sorry to tell you, you're going to fail. It's gonna fail. Period. I don't care. It's gonna fail because you are trying to do something out of your own strength, out of your own might. And so even if you do the thing that you like, even if like I save $10,000 and God is not in it, I'm about to spend that $10,000 in 2 seconds. Like we said, there's blessings and favor that's not attached to it when God is not in it.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm trying to get like if I have favor, then I can make this 10,000 20. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking for the most favor. I'm looking for the most blessings. So that is the takeaway. Guys, major key 2022. You need some discipline.
Whoop, whoop.
We need discipline. All of us, we need discipline. And I do believe that all of our dreams will come true. All of the things that we plan, the goals, all of that is going to come true. God is going to blow our minds. And then honestly, what we should do, like, I don't know, and this is the part where I'm willing to be flexible, Jesus, but what we should do, this just came to my mind, is next January, get on the radio show. And just like for Christmas, we had a Christmas show, just a bunch of like testimonies of things and goals that people had. And they're like, this is what God
I like
did
what it
because
is.
of discipline, right? That's good. I don't know. I feel like I hear
Write that
from the
down.
Lord.
You heard yourself. Now you gotta write it down.
Right. What do
Have
you
an
mean?
idea.
Write down
You gotta write the idea down.
or make a plan.
Exactly.
Make a plan. Okay, I get you. I get you. I get you. I'm feeling like that was the voice of God. I don't know. I don't know, but but anyway, guys, I love you so much. You are so wonderful. You're so beautiful. I hope that you have so
Well,
much food at your
yeah.
house that you can eat because food is amazing. I hope that you are blessed. I hope that I know that your family will be favored. Go with God. God loves you. He I love you. Jonathan loves you. This is just a love fest. We love you
Love is
guys.
in the
You're
air.
amazing. Huh? What'd you say?
I said love is in the air.
Love is in the air. It really
Getting
is.
ready for February. Valentine's
Get
Day is around the
ready.
corner.
Oh yeah. Oh
Month
yeah.
of love.
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Um, you're amazing, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. We will be back next month with another video show. Bye.
Yo, see you guys.